Hi everyone, today's video is all about fall nail art designs. I've got a couple of options for you. You can choose one that you like the best to recreate on your own nails, or try it as a set like I have here. Before I start, I wanted to tell you guys about an awesome channel called Nature's Knockout. Lori and Tiffany teaches you about how to be a natural beauty inside and out. This week they have a video on some of their favorite natural nail polishes and removers that works just as well as normal nail polishes, but less the chemicals. I highly recommend you guys go check out their videos and subscribe to learn more about eating and living a healthier life. As always, start with base coat to protect your nails. On my index finger, I chose 4 colors that represented autumn for this braided nail design. You can also do this design with only 3 colors. To start, use the brush that comes with your nail polish bottle and apply a diagonal line with your first color, roughly at a 45 degrees angle. When you get to the end, slightly turn the brush and utilize the brush corners to get to the side of the nails. Then use your second color and do the same going across the other side of the nail, overlapping the first color. When you get to the third color, start below the first color but slightly overlapping it to cover the edges. With this design, you only need to concentrate on the bottom side of each line. Make it as straight as possible to achieve the best result. Then repeat steps for the remaining areas of the nail. Make sure to rotate the nail polish in the same order to separate the colors. Another note for this design is you need to wait 30 to 60 seconds between each color, depending on how fast your nail polish dries. Because they overlap each other, we need to let the nail polish dry up a little before continuing so they don't blend in together. Once you get to the end, fill the corners of the nail with your last 2 colors, and you will achieve this beautiful braided nail design. If you get any nail polish on your cuticles, just dip a cotton bud in polish remover to wipe away the excess. Or some people like to use Vaseline around the cuticles to prevent the nail polish from sticking to the finger, and you can wipe away the excess with a tissue paper. On my ring finger and thumb, I decided to use a gold glitter polish as my accent color. Gold also goes really well with autumn colors, and the glitter gives it a dash of sparkle and romanticness. I accessorized with some black studs. If you don't have any, then simply add in a few black dots with a dotting tool to achieve a similar result. On my pinky finger, I created some egg-shaped patterns with the help of a thin brush. Don't worry, it's not drawn on. To create the depth of field effect, I mixed 3 nail polish colors together. First, dab a blob of each color on a piece of paper and use the thin brush to take a scoop from each color. You will end up with a blob of color on the tip of the brush. When you press that onto the surface at an angle, you will create the egg shape. The color comes out the best if you use a mix of shimmer and cream polishes. You probably don't even need 3 colors, just the red and orange alone will get a very similar result. Mix the colors onto the brush tip and press the blob of color at an angle onto the nail. Repeat steps and place more eggs evenly over the nail. The more nail polish you have on the tip of the brush, the fatter your eggs will be. So test it out on a piece of paper first to see how much polish you need on the brush to create the shape that you want. To match the colors on the rest of my fingers, I added a tiny green dot near the bottom of the eggs to balance out the colors. Finally, for my middle finger, which has the most surface area, I used the same egg-shaped technique to help create the flower petals and leaves. After dipping the colors, place the first dot towards the bottom of the nail to mark the spot for the first flower. If you drag the end just ever so slightly at the end, you can create a little petal tip. Then place 4 more dots in different angles, all facing the center point to create the first flower. You can also move your fingers to help with the angle. I'm pretty restricted with the camera angle, so I have to work around the nail, but you can totally adjust your finger to a better angle to do the dots. Next, I placed a smaller flower on the side of the nails. If you don't have enough room, you can do less petals. At the tip of the nail, I did a half flower using only 3 petals. You can adjust the number of flowers you can fit depending on the size of your nails. I think having at least 1 full flower and a half flower will create the best result. Add in a couple of random dots to fill in the spaces. Next, dip the brush in black polish and dot in the center of the flowers. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. Imperfections makes it look more realistic. Then clean the brush and use the same thin brush and a green polish to dot in the leaves. Place the dot at an angle and slightly drag and lift to create the point at the end. Randomly place the leaves in the empty areas facing different directions to give the impression of free falling leaves of autumn. Once you're done, finish with top coat on all of your designs to prolong the wearing time of your manicure. If you like this video, please rate it, share it, and add it to your favorite playlist. Subscribe for updates. I upload new videos every Thursday, Wednesday night if you're in the US or Canada. Don't forget to check out the nail polish video over at Nature's Knockout. You can find all the links in the info box below. Thanks for watching!